Studios in downtown Amarillo, ABC7 News, the Panhandle Spirit, starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. First, we are taking a live look at the jam-packed red carpet at the 90th Academy Awards. Organizers of the Me Too and Time's Up movement say they are planning to take a decidedly understated approach tonight. Jimmy Kimmel returns as the host of tonight's big event and promises there will not be a repeat performance of last year's Best Picture Award error. We have a full story on the Oscars excitement coming up in about 13 minutes. In Fire Watch tonight, fire crews in Swisher County are now in mop-up stages after a grass fire in Tulia. Officials say it started near the Wrangler feed yards this afternoon on FM 2698. The fire was out within less than an hour. There has not been an acreage count released yet. Happy Fire Department assisted in putting that fire out.
And our fire danger across the area today has been very high. In fact, let's get you out to our Skycam in Tulia this afternoon, where earlier we were seeing a lot of smoke on this screen. Things have certainly calmed down since that fire has been put out, and we still have that red flag warning in effect for a majority of the counties in our area. That lasts for another 2 hours or so. But hey, if you are having an Oscars watch party, here's what you can expect this evening, starting in the mid-60s as the show starts, and then by the time you might be heading home, we're down into the upper 50s. Tiffany?
Thanks, Delaney. Happening now, one local man has a dream of giving opportunities, and he wants to start a ranch where people with various disabilities can come together. His name is Waylon Walker, and he's raising money to buy ranch land. ABC7's Jayla Washington joins us now on a ranch just outside of Amarillo with more. Jayla?
Tiffany, Waylon Walker argues that there's no place quite as peaceful as being out on a ranch. That's why he's working toward creating a safe place where people can work on healing and just be happy. On Saturday, March 10th, Walker tells us he'll be having a free benefit concert at Legacy Hall on West Texas A&M's campus. Donations will be accepted at the door to raise money for about 200 acres of land. Growing up in foster care, Walker says some of his most peaceful times are spent out on a ranch. That's why he wants to give other people the opportunity to be surrounded by others alike when they come to his ranch.
I had a foster brother who lost his leg also, and he loved to ride, and he quit riding after he lost his leg, and that had been his life, and it devastated him. There's so many people that in society nowadays, they get told that they can't do something, and I want to be able to prove that they can.
Coming up on ABC7 Nightside News tonight at 10, I'll tell you more about what Waylon is doing to turn these dreams into a reality. Reporting on a ranch in between Amarillo and Canyon, Jayla Washington, ABC7 News.
Thank you, Jayla. Happening today, hundreds of folks in Canyon are getting the chance to enjoy an authentic Czech sausage dinner, thanks to St. Anne's Parish. A group from the church started cooking the rich and flavorful sausages at 6 this morning. Officials say they serve more than 1,000 guests each year. All money raised will go toward the church, and some folks there tell us there's nothing better than a Czech sausage.
There's just something about that special Czech recipe that goes into that sausage, and our creamy parsley potatoes, they set us apart from a lot of other dinners. And so it's just a great plate and a great time to sit and visit with people you haven't known, people you haven't met.
Organizers tell us this event is a unique time for fellowship and fun for their entire parish community. Folks were also able to buy arts and crafts made by parishioners and raffle tickets for some big prizes. New tonight, several members of Congress were in Alabama yesterday as part of a commemoration of the U.S. Civil Rights Movement. They participated in a wreath-laying ceremony to remember people killed by Civil Rights era violence. This year's pilgrimage comes 50 years after the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
What happened here in Montgomery and what happened in Birmingham and Selma and so many other places in the South, urge people to stand up, to speak up and speak out.
And I think this kind of pilgrimage helps us to remember and reflect. And now it's time to recommit and rededicate ourselves to the ideals of this pilgrimage.
Folks taking part in the three-day pilgrimage say they have been inspired as they toured the historic sites of the Civil Rights Movement in the area. A brief break from White House turmoil for President Trump this weekend. The president attended the Gridiron Dinner, hosted by the oldest and one of the most prestigious journalist organizations in Washington. ABC's Mark Remillard has more.
A tumultuous week at the White House, ending with a touch of humor. President Trump showing up at the Gridiron Dinner in Washington Saturday night, which was closed to cameras, saying it was the most fun he's had with the media since watching their faces on election night in 2016. Earlier in the day, Trump auditioned some material at a Mar-a-Lago fundraiser, joking there about China's President Xi Jinping, quote, "He's now president for life. Maybe we should give that a shot someday." Back at the White House, Trump seeking a new communications director after Hope Hicks announced her resignation. Some critics linking that to her testimony before the House Intelligence Committee, in which she said working for the president occasionally required her to tell, quote, white lies. Former New Jersey governor and Trump advisor Chris Christie believes Hicks made the right call.
And she did the noble thing, in my view, which was to say, you know what, if I'm not 100% an asset for the president, I'm gonna back away.
Another staffing issue for the president. Son-in-law Jared Kushner stripped of his top security clearance. At the same time, reports surfaced that his family business received more than $500 million in loans from banks he met with in the White House. Kushner's lawyer insists he, quote, has had no role in the Kushner companies since joining the government, and that he followed all ethics advice, including recusing himself when appropriate.
I've never seen a White House in more disarray, with more internal conflicts, with more changes in direction so abruptly and so quickly.
One change in direction, gun control. The president first endorsing background checks this week and then reversing himself after meeting with NRA chiefs at the White House. Mark Remillard, ABC News, New York.
Today, President Trump tweeted, "The gala was great fun," adding, quote, "I'm accomplishing a lot in Washington and have never had a better time doing something." When we come back here for ABC7 News at 5, residents on the East Coast are picking up the pieces after a deadly storm hit, causing major damage, but another winter storm may be on the way. And the anticipation is mounting. Who will take home the gold and who will go home disappointed? We head down to the red carpet as the stars shine at the 90th Academy Awards in Hollywood. That's next.
You're watching ABC7 News with Tiffany Lester, Amanda Atwell with sports, and Storm Surge 7 meteorologist Delaney Worden. This is ABC7 News, the Panhandle Spirit. Today's Storm Surge 7 Weather Almanac brought to you by Childers Brothers Incorporated, specializing in house leveling and foundation stabilizing. The most respected and trusted name in the business, offering free honest estimates in Amarillo and a 300-mile radius. Call today, 352-9563.
New Englanders hit by the weekend's deadly nor'easter will barely have time to clean up before another possible storm heads their way. A massive cleanup effort is underway now after a deadly storm left its mark along the eastern seaboard with widespread flooding and damaged properties. To make things worse, the National Weather Service says the next storm could come either Wednesday or Thursday. More than 500,000 customers from Virginia to Massachusetts still remain without power.
This is going to create an enormous hardship for these folks, and we have to work with the city and with others to figure out how to help them deal with it.
We are looking at least 72 hours from the end of the assessment for power restoration. The assessment of power outage has not been completed yet, so we're into Tuesday at least before everybody's going to get their power back on.
Officials for Amtrak say nearly all services between Boston and Washington, D.C. will resume after the storm-related cancellations on Friday.
When we come back on ABC7 News at 5, I'll have the details on what you can expect in your work week ahead. And Hollywood is full of nerves as celebrities anxiously await the 90th Academy Award ceremony. We'll have more from the red carpet coming up next.
Hollywood's Night to Shine is sponsored by Dish.
The red carpet is rolled out for Hollywood's biggest night, the Academy Awards. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez is right there in Hollywood with a look at what's expected at this year's Oscars.
The flashbulbs, the fashion, the grand finale of the award season.
You know, this is what you dream about. It's a pretty too good to be true moment.
Hollywood's biggest night about to begin.
Warren, what did you do?
Jimmy Kimmel back to host the 90th Annual Academy Awards after last year's unforgettable Best Picture mix-up.
I'll be honest, it would be funny if it happened again.
New safeguards are in place to make sure it doesn't happen again, but there could be a different kind of surprise with the Best Picture category this year. Many expect The Shape of Water, with the most nominations at 13, to win the top prize. But with voting calculations done differently for Best Picture than the other categories, many think there could be an upset.
Shape of Water is certainly a favorite, but Get Out with a good chance to pull a surprise.
Experts say the other big categories are more predictable. The favorites include Gary Oldman for Best Actor, Sam Rockwell for Best Supporting Actor.
You, get over here.
His co-star in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Frances McDormand, the top contender for Best Actress. And for Best Supporting Actress, many expect Allison Janney.
I made you a champion.
To take home Oscar gold.
And while the Oscars producers say they want to keep the focus tonight on the movies, they say there will be a moment or two dedicated to the Me Too and Time's Up movements, and there will no doubt be talk about that here on the red carpet. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Hollywood.
And we here at ABC7 are also getting ready for the Oscars with our Hollywood's Night to Shine quiz. The quiz lets you cast your own guesses on who you think will win this year's Oscars in several categories. Just head over to our website, abc7amarillo.com, and go down to the entertainment section to cast your vote. Wonder Woman may have found her next nemesis, and the Spice Girls are reuniting for the royal wedding. Circa's Shira Lazar takes a look back at some of the other biggest pop culture stories of the week.
Hey, it's Shira Lazar from Circa Pop Live, and here's your pop culture wrap-up of the week. In movie news, actress Kristen Wiig may play the villain in Wonder Woman 2. Deadline reports that the Bridesmaids actress is in talks to play the Wonder Woman nemesis in the superhero sequel due in theaters November 1st, 2019. In TV news, Alec Baldwin is getting a new talk show. The actor and Trump impersonator will be hosting Sundays with Alec Baldwin, featuring one-on-one interviews with some of the most interesting people in American pop culture, starting this Sunday after the Oscars. In music news, the Spice Girls are performing at the royal wedding. Scary Spice, aka MLB, appeared on The Real and let it slip that not only is the entire band invited to Prince Harry's wedding to Meghan Markle, but they're also performing at the May 19th reception. In celebrity news, Kevin Smith was hospitalized after a near-fatal heart attack. The cult movie director said he felt nauseous after the first of 2 stand-up shows last Sunday night before suffering a massive heart attack. Kevin shared several photos and videos via social media from the hospital and is now back at home. For the latest stories in pop culture, be sure to check out Circa Pop Live, weekdays 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, only on circa.com.
It has been a very warm and windy day across our area. We're taking a live look from our Skycam over at Lake Meredith this afternoon and not seeing any clouds out there, though we have been seeing some clouds across the area earlier today that has since cleared out. But in your weather story for this evening, I'll talk about that very high fire danger for the rest of this day. Our cool start to the work week, and unfortunately still dry over the next 10 days, not seeing any rain in the forecast. We still have that red flag warning in effect for the counties that you see shaded there in red, so of course that is a majority of our area. This began at 11 a.m. It will continue to go until 7 p.m., so a little under 2 hours. Now, again, if you're doing any outdoor activities that involve maybe an open flame or a spark, try not to do any of those activities because definitely a very dangerous day out there, what with this heat, our dry conditions, and those strong winds as well. Now, temperatures very warm out there. In fact, even seeing some 80s down towards our southeast, 86 degrees in Childress, 85 over in Paducah. Here in Amarillo, starting to cool down after reaching a high of 77, now down to 75 degrees. Clayton going to be one of the cooler spots at 67 this afternoon. Now for this evening, that next cold front going to be moving through the area, pushing out that cloud cover tomorrow morning. A little bit more seasonal for this time of year than what we were this morning, a low of 36 degrees. Those winds still starting off breezy from the northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. By lunchtime, they're staying breezy, but we're starting to warm up 54 degrees. This is right around our average high for this time of year. So more seasonal temperatures for tomorrow after that cold front moves through, a high of 59 degrees. And by 5 p.m. those winds will be much calmer from the northwest at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Now Monday night and into Tuesday, overall seeing those clear skies. And then by Tuesday afternoon, still seeing those similar temperatures. In fact, 54 degrees for a high. Those winds are coming in from the north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. So overall, Tuesday going to be much calmer and a little bit cooler. Now for this evening, temperatures are going to be ranging from the 20s to the mid 40s, 24 degrees over in Clayton, New Mexico, and then down in Childress reaching 44 degrees. We can see how that cold front affects the the western part of our area first, and then gets to the eastern part, later in the evening. Now for this evening here in Amarillo, 36 degrees. Those winds will be shifting overnight, staying breezy out there, but again by tomorrow afternoon a little bit calmer. We're reaching our high of 59 degrees, 60 degrees over in Canyon with overall mostly to partly cloudy skies. And then we'll see tomorrow across the area 50s and some 60s as well. 63 degrees in Childress, 58 over in Perryton, and the cooler spot going to be in Clayton, New Mexico at 52 degrees. Your Capital Farm Credit 7-day forecast does show us staying in the 50s for the first half of your work week. Election day, 54 degrees for a high. We jump back up into the 70s for Friday, but unfortunately dealing with high fire danger. And of course, next Sunday is daylight savings time.
Thank you. Yeah. We're warming up. Spring is on the way.
Yes, it is. It's going to be nice.
Thanks, Delaney.
Of course.
What's coming up in sports, Amanda?
Well, Tiffany, the Lady Sandy's bringing home the state title. Their return to Amarillo coming up in sports. Good afternoon, everyone. A mid-season 3-game skid put a stall in the number 23 Lady Buff season, but an end-of-the-conference turnaround helped them claim a share of the regular season title, and the Lady Buffs continued that momentum into the conference tournament, facing off with the Texans from Tarleton in the championship game today down in Frisco. First quarter, 18-12 WT. Tarleton State makes their first run of the game. McKinley Bostad hits a 3 to make it a 2-point game, and the Lady Texans were not done. Second quarter now, nice jumper from the foul line for Mackenzie Haley. And we have a 1-point game, but basketball, as you know, is all about runs, and the Lady Buffs had theirs. Nice passing down to Tiana Parker, who finishes at the rim. Tarleton with the response. Kylie Collins knocks down the 3. This game was back and forth early, but Megan Gamble says, Kylie, I can knock down a 3 as well from the top of the key. Dinger, and then Lexi Hightower with a nice stop and pop. That 2 goes. WT led at half 37-32, and they will win the LSC title 80-66. Men facing UTPB. They were trailing in a second. We will have highlights from that on Late Sports. And in Canyon, WT baseball looking to close out a clean sweep of Tarleton State for their conference opener. Darren Cook starting out on the mound for the Buffs, and he ends the first one clean, topped off with a strikeout. Texan Dylan Levens out swinging. Bottom of the first, Buffs started out with a double. Bodie Bryant deep to center field, automatic double for him. Runner on third now, Luis Amaro with the RBI double. He'll be safe at second. Buffs take a 1-0 lead. They go on to win this one 14-4 to complete the weekend sweep. In 23 years, the last time Amarillo High brought home a state title for girls basketball, not a single player on the current team was alive. That all changed yesterday after the Lady Sandys down number 1 ranked Mansfield Timberview for the 5A state title to cap off a storybook season. Today they returned home with a trophy that has been years in the making. Head coach Jeff Williams says he couldn't be more proud of the resilience and fight of this team.
It's just unbelievable, you know, because it's almost isn't real, you know, because we go down there, we feel like we got a great shot, but what a tough tournament we're going to be in. And it's just, it came together, our kids were tough, and it's one of the best feelings, well, it is the best feeling I've ever had in coaching. And so we're just really proud of our kids and how they competed and the way they represented Amarillo High School, just a class act.
This day, it's unbelievable, and I can finally say we finally won a state championship and got Coach Williams where he wanted to always be. And not only did we go to the next step from last year, but we actually won it and took it over, and it's honestly the best feeling I've probably ever had.
And another story of resilience. Shaquem Griffin is impressing at the NFL Combine against all odds. Central Florida linebacker only has one hand due to a medical condition, but that didn't stop him from hammering out 20 reps of 225 pounds on the bench press and running the fastest 40-yard dash for a linebacker in over a decade, clocking in at 4.43 seconds. Griffin was a 2-year starter at UCF and closed out last season as the MVP of the Peach Bowl. Griffin was That's all we have for sports. Delaney?
Taking a look at what you can expect as you're heading to and from work tomorrow, starting off at 36 degrees, seeing clear skies throughout a majority of the day, a high of 59 in the afternoon. So over the next few days, we do stay in the 50s, but we start to warm up nicely by the end of the week, even to the 70s for Friday and Saturday.
Well, thank you for that, Delaney.
Of course.
Thank you for being here for ABC7 News Weekend. We're always online at abc7amarillo.com. We'll see you back here tonight at 10 for Nightside.